Greetings to you viewers from across the globe. You're welcome to the show, Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. I'm your host, Odiawa AI, for Veegil Media. You would do well to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Veegil Media, and follow us on social media platforms. Also, download the app under the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Now, moving on to the show for today, we will be talking about the three-horse race. And when I'm talking about the three-horse race here, I'm not talking about the horse race between, athletes on the track. I'm talking about the political race now in Kogi State come November 11, which is just a few hours away. Now, the 2023 gubernatorial elections in Kogi State will be a three-horse race, like I began by saying, among three significant or major tribes in Kogi State. We have the Igalas from Kogi East, the Ebira from Kogi Central, and the Okun people from Kogi West. Now, since its creation in 1991, observers or spectators of Kogi politics are of the view that this is the first time that three major tribes in the states are going to the political polls simultaneously. And without a doubt, there are 18 political parties and candidates that will be taking part in the political race to succeed lead representative Yahaya Bello of the Lugard House. Like I mentioned earlier on in previous episode, the Lugard House, I'm referring to the Kogi State Government House. Now, in furtherance to this, the ethnic rivalry, political viciousness, and power of incumbency probably will decide who will win the political race. Stakeholders are also depending on the electoral umpire, INEC, to give a neutral atmosphere to every one of the states. Now, to begin with, I mentioned three factors which will actually influence the Kogi State elections: ethnic rivalry, ethnic rivalry, political viciousness, and power of incumbency. Now, to begin with, ethnic rivalry in the states. The 2023 gubernatorial races in Kogi State vows to be a direct contest amongst three ethnic identities in the state. I mentioned these identities: the Igala, the people of Okun, and the Ebira people, entirely in the Kogi politics stage. They have, however, been contests between two major tribes, while the third tribes and minority actually emerge as beautiful brides, because I don't think they will have the wherewithal or the political muscle to contend with those other major tribes, two major tribes. But as we speak now, three major tribes now are on board to change the game in the political scene. Now, in 1999, if I may speak historically now, Kogi gubernatorial contest was a fight between PDP's Stephen Olorufemi, who was actually from Okun, and ANPP's Abubakar Audu from Igala. In case we might not remember the ANPP, that's the All Nigeria People's Party, which I want to believe is still functional, but not as popular as the dominant political parties which we have presently. Now, the Ebiras apparently were the beautiful brides as at that point in time. Now, moving on from that era to 2007, it was a head-to-head between ACN's Mohammed Salami Ohiari of Ebira land. Ohiari is actually a title in the Ebira, amongst the Ebira people. Now, his opposition was PDP's Ibrahim Idris, who was actually from the Igala extraction. And the people of Okun from Kogi West were at this point in time now the beautiful brides. Now, 2019 gubernatorial contest was also between APC's Yahaya Bello, which is the ruling party now in Kogi State, and Ebira Man, and PDP's Musa's Wada. The result of this election generally showed ethnic tendencies as we speak. Now, you could see the differentials between the Ebira people and the Okun people, and also the Igala people. Now, would it be that it was a case of rotation between two major tribes, and then the other tribe and the minorities who were left in the cold actually became the brides to be? Was it a rotation thing, or it was an agreement thing? Now, for these three major tribes now to come on board to contest these elections, is it a particular tussle for or battle for supremacy as to who will run the Lugard House? Now, that's a food for thought which we need to wine and dine about in our brains. Now, as at in 2019, Wada won by and large votes from the Igala land, while Bello cleared the Ebira votes in an avalanche triumph. Nonetheless, as we speak, obviously, as we see also, primaries held for the current year held effectively modified the typical pattern of the two major tribes confronting one another and involving a third tribe negotiating advantages. Now, PDP produced presently now in this current elections, which is to be held in a few hours' time, which is over the weekend on Saturday, PDP produced Senator Dino Melaye. Of course, he's well-renowned. He claims he is experienced, or he's the triple E governor, if I may put it that way. He's experienced, he's exposed, and he's educated. Now, I don't want to believe others don't have such advantages also. I don't mean to run them down. Now, Dino Melaye is actually from Okun in Kogi West, and APC, who has also delivered Usman Ododo, actually, should I say, a school son of Yahya Bello, is actually from Ebira land, from Kogi Central, while the SDP candidate has produced Motola Ajaka, an Igala man from Kogi East. Now, it now sees that all three major tribes are on the stage or in the racetrack to see who will actually win this particular race. Now, what point am I driving at? It's the first time since the state was created that the major tribes, three I mean, will participate in a fight for supremacy, or permit me to call it the Game of Thrones. Now, in the profoundly disruptive gubernatorial race, the greatest issues ruling the campaigns in an uproar are, as we speak, potentially not legitimate in the capacity or histories of a candidate, or however, ethnic contemplations. Now, the campaign coloration portrays an ancestral contest between this three-sided, should I call it a three-sided dogfight among the Ebira people, the people of Okun, and the Igala people. Now, these ethnic identities, in any case, are a portion of the candidates who have underscored that they are not ethnic bosses. Now, in view of the democratic qualities of the zones, none of the three tribes can, without any assistance, make one of their own lead representatives. In this way, the ethnic minorities like Basa Nge, Basa Kwomu, the Nupes, Ogori Magongo, and non-indigens may probably conclude who actually will win the November 11, 2023 gubernatorial elections. I'm Odiawa AI for Veegil Media, and the show is Viewpoints, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. Join me in the next phase of the show. You're welcome back to the show. I'm Odiawa AI, and the show is Viewpoint, right here on Veegil Media, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. You will do well also, like I said earlier on, to subscribe to this channel, Veegil Media, on YouTube, and follow us on various social media platforms. Likewise also, download the app on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Now, earlier on in the first phase of the show, we were talking about the three-horse race between the Igala people, the Ebira people, and the people of Okun in Kogi State. These three major tribes have come together to influence certain factors such as political viciousness, power of incumbency, and just to mention a few as the show proceeds in this second phase of the show. Now, moving on to political viciousness. In addition, frankly speaking, they are developing worries as we speak over early admonitions of political viciousness ahead of the elections tomorrow. Now, if we go down memory lane, historically speaking, starting around 2003, occurrences of brutality have become one of the attributes of elections in the states. Now, we will go through some videos earlier on as a last month, brutality of some individuals who were sent on ill errands, let me put it that way. Now, in furtherance to that, going down memory lane, historically speaking, the assassination of Salome Abu. Now, Salome Abu, who was burnt alive in her home soon after the announcement of the results of the gubernatorial elections won by incumbent lead representative, the governor, Yahaya Bello, on November 18, 2019. It saw a spike of political viciousness and uproar. Now, up till now, I don't think justice has actually been served concerning Salome. Well, the indications of brutality in the eastern flank of the state are actually now apparent. This has made the region of a I beg your pardon, a center of attraction to be watched by security agents. Now, if we recall, we'll see the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, and also the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, also coming on board as last week to make sure that there won't be any security challenges or anomalies which will make the election process, in my own language, I would say capsize or go down south. Now, there are instances of assaults in Kogi East, which we have already brought up earlier on. The circumstance in any case different in Kogi Central and West, where the races are probably going to be serene, as there are no significant instances of assaults among the political parties during the campaigns. Now, if we've been politically aware, we'll notice that the West, as it's been observed, and the other part also has been quite serene. Now, my question is, why is the eastern flank of any nation or region always in one form of perceived chaos? Just thinking or asking, you just ignore my own views. This is just a deviation. Now, in any case, moving on, the lead representative, Yahaya Bello, has over and over again said that all will be carried out to make sure that the state is serene, calm during the elections, and also, of course, being the #1 man of the state, is more like, he's the man of the house. He has cautioned people who might need to accomplish their viciousness to back down and back out, which of course should be employed during that period, because I don't see any reason why people should come on board and begin to upturn electoral processes. If you're upturning the electoral processes, it therefore means that you are not satisfied with the results. Why? Because you have a selfish interest to achieve. Frankly speaking, as I will move on, happening in most recent couple of weeks, it has also seen the lead representative and security agencies living up to their words as candidates of the parties are preparing for the elections. As evidently, we will see the security apparatus from the police, the army, and the DSS. Everyone has their boots on ground, not only in Kogi State, but also Bayelsa, which I talked about in some weeks ago, and also in Imo State, which is perceived to have this apathy and insecurity threats. Now, lastly, moving over to power of incumbency in Kogi State. Now, Kogi State has seen the much promoted power of incumbency severally at the polls. The APC controls the federal and, as we speak, also controls state powers in the states. Now, when I mean federal, I'm talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and at the state level, I'm talking about Yahaya Bello. Now, both parties now is what I mean by the power of incumbency. Now, as well as it is a gigantic cohesive apparatus, judging from my own view, let me put it that way, with the federal and the state might behind the APC candidate, who is at Ododo, we might be right to suggest that the oppositions actually face a gigantic errand in their bid to win the political election. It's going to be an uphill task, because it's like the grandfather has spoken or is speaking, and the father is also speaking. Not to make sure also, maybe you can also say a great-grandfather is also speaking likewise. Now, while the fight for ethnic matchless quality actually furies on, representatives of the APC-led government for the three principal ethnic zones are equipping to obtain votes in favor of their party candidates, which of course anyone should do. It's all in the interest of the party. Now, aside from that also, the above expatiated factors which I've outlined, some APC allies accept that lead representatives Bello, his performance, especially in his second tenure, will actually boost the possibility of the APC candidate on Saturday. Now, if this is to go by anything by, it therefore means that the accusations from the opposition parties are actually false, if Yahaya Bello has actually really performed in the second term. So we will see at the polls, and it is our hope and our view and our opinions before, during, and after the elections, that these elections are not influenced or marred by anything whatsoever, discrepancies or anomalies, and comes to, or rather comes to an end on the INEC's table, not after INEC's table. It then proceeds to a tribunal phase in the state, from there probably to the Court of Appeal, and then journeys over to the Supreme Court. It is our hope that candidates will behave like a proper sportsman in this three-horse race. I draw the curtain on today's episode of Viewpoint. You do well to subscribe to our channel, Veegil Media, on YouTube, and follow us on social media platforms. Likewise, also download our apps on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Thanks for watching.